What's up, beauties, and welcome to today's video. It's me, Manders. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if it's your first time, welcome. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and make sure you ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on my future videos, and give this video a big thumbs up if you like it. Today we're doing something a little different. It's still a makeup video, but it's a collab, and we're actually doing a movie review. So I have collaborated with the beautiful and talented Alexandra Alexis. Please go check her out. I will link her up here. I will link her down below. I will link her throughout the video. You guys will get to see a whole bunch of different stuff from both of us, hopefully. So we have decided that we each pick a movie. Since it is still October, we wanted to pick something a little bit more on the scary side. And I have decided to do my makeup look / movie review on the movie The Craft. So if you haven't already seen that movie, then stay tuned because I'm going to do my makeup and I'm going to talk about it. And if you have seen it, if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, don't watch this, go watch that movie first and see how I did. It isn't a new movie. It came out in the early 2000s, I think. It has, who are the actors? Why am I drawing a blank, of course, while I'm trying to talk about this? Before I talk about the actors, I'll talk about the movie. So the movie is about witches, teenage witches. There's a group of three that already know each other. They have been friends for a long time, and then the fourth character moves to their town, and she just so happens to be a natural witch. So they kind of all get together and they become friends. So I am moisturizing my face using my Dr. Jart water-based moisturizer right now. So what I really like about the movie is, first of all, it's not a new movie. It's an older movie. So it's just one of those movies that's like a classic to me. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever seen it. And do you like it? So what they do is they want to invoke the highest power. So not like God or anything. And they call this highest power Manal. So because of their passion for power, they kind of all come together and they create their little, like, I guess their four corners of the earth is what they kind of describe it as. Sorry if I'm butchering the movie review portion. That's one thing about this. Alexandra is so much more comfortable doing these types of videos. She does them all the time, whereas I usually just talk about makeup. So bear with me if I have completely butchered this movie review. So what I want to do is I do want to make it inspired based on the main character, Nancy. So she goes to witchcraft, and it's kind of her outlet. And she gets things get a little spooky after that. So I'm going to stop talking for a few minutes, and I'm going to start putting some makeup on, because if I don't, I will sit here for days. So her character, honestly, she plays one of my favorite characters. I cannot remember the actress's name for the life of me right now. I am so sorry. I am terrible at these things. But she just, the way that she looks, like her demeanor, I wish I could pull off the way she looks, but I won't be able to. But I'm going to do my recreation kind of on what I think if I was going to look like her, I would look like. So the first thing I am going to do is I've already moisturized my face. I'm going to do my eyes first because it's going to be a little bit more smoky, a little bit darker than usual. After all, this is Halloween time of year, and we are doing a movie review about witches. And these aren't like your typical witches. These are like teenage witches, and they're quite powerful in this movie. Like, seriously. I remember watching this movie when I was a kid, like a teenager, and being like, wow. There's just always there's always been something about like supernatural type stuff that's always kind of drawn me in. And I think that's why I love that movie so much. And honestly, I could watch that movie over and over, and I remember being younger and being able to, and it's just one of those movies that I didn't have for a long time. I didn't see it for a long time, but when I found it in that $5 bin at Walmart, man, I'm telling you, I bought that thing faster than I could say The Craft. Sorry, I'm drinking my coffee as we do this. It is the morning, but I am just like Another thing is to, thank you so much, Alexandra, for waiting for me to do this, because as everybody knows, I haven't been around a lot lately, and this was really just like I wasn't comfortable sitting down to film this video until I felt ready. And that's so weird, and I think it's because it's out of my comfort zone. So I cannot thank her enough for doing this with me, because I needed to get out of my comfort zone. And I think I'm going to be all over the place with the movie review, but whatever, that's okay. We can do it. So the character Nancy, though, she's very like pale. I'm not pale, but I'm going to, for the creation of the look, I'm going to adapt it to me and how I kind of think that if I had to play that character, I would look. Does that make sense? I think that's what we're going for. I have a couple different palettes in front of me. And the first thing I am going to do is I'm just going to take, using my BH Cosmetics, the Zodiac Love Signs, just the shade Scorpio, the matte shade. It's just a nice matte, like white beige. I just want to set my eyeshadow base. I do enjoy this palette a lot. It has such a big mirror, which is perfect for when I'm like filming in places like this. So I just like to set my eyeshadow like this. Well, I like to set my eyeshadow base, actually, not my eyeshadow. I'm an idiot. I don't feel very smart right now. So the next step is I'm just trying to decide how dark I'm gonna go. She doesn't typically wear a lot of makeup though. Like really in the movie, like they don't wear a lot of makeup. This is early 2000s. Like it's not like now where everybody has a winged liner and just like decked out to the nines. Like she just looked simple. And I really kind of want to recreate that as best I can without going overboard. So I think this is what I'm gonna do. This is the palette I should use, because this is the James Charles palette, and there are a lot of like deeper toned browns. There are like some oranges. Like I think this is just what I need in order to create this look the way that I think it should be, or the way that it would adapt to me, I guess. Sorry. All right, and it's gonna be a soft smoky eye, like nothing too crazy. So I will go in with a transition shade first, which is just a nice matte beige brown. This palette doesn't have shade names, but that's okay. So I'm just going to pop that into my crease using a big, big fluffy brush. Another thing I really like about this movie was, like, it's like a teenage movie, so there's obviously like the love subplots and the mean girls, and like, I know it's funny because I was watching it with my husband not long ago, and he was like, there is one character and she's like a blonde, big old bee, and she's not very nice. She's not very nice to the one character. Don't want to give too much away. But like, it really, like, it's funny because now that you watch that movie, you start off thinking that she was so horrible, because she was horrible. But then something bad happens to her, because they're witches, of course. They obviously cast a curse on her. And then she actually reached out to that person and she apologized. So trying to like make amends for all the terrible things you've done. And sometimes that does happen. Sometimes people just realize they're just a-holes. And that's kind of one of my favorite parts in the movie, is when she like realizes that. And then when the girl who's playing the witch also kind of realizes, okay, so we are just in high school. Things just, it's quite dramatic, actually. I love it though. I love it so much. I love that movie. And I know this isn't like a traditional review, like this is just me talking about what I like, but that's okay. We're going for it, man. So I'm gonna take a smaller brush. This is my e.l.f. crease brush, and I'm gonna go in with a dark, So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, and I'm just gonna pack it into my crease. Now, I could do this with black, because a lot of black eye makeup seems to be the trend. However, I'm not going to. I am going to use this teeny tiny little mirror. That is my biggest disappointment with this palette. If this James Charles palette had a mirror, I would use it way more. So, just saying. But I do enjoy it. So I'm gonna go in with the darker shade, and I'm just gonna pack it. And I'm just gonna, just like that, and we're just gonna take our time doing this. The other thing about this movie is like it's kind of like a teenage, like there's obviously the love interest, which I do remember his name. It's Skeet Ulrich. He was the bad boy of the early 2000s, 90s. He was in multiple movies, including The Craft, including Scream. Oh my God, I should have reviewed Scream. Now I realize that was like my favorite horror movie of the 90s. It's okay though. So he's like a super a-hole in the movie. And the main character really, really likes him, and he goes and spreads some dumb rumors about her, and she, for some reason, still likes him. Besides the point. And ends up putting like a love spell on him, and he like falls and becomes obsessed with her to the point where like it's dangerous. So it also kind of like sends that message of there are consequences to your actions. If you put a love spell on somebody, they may or may not go crazy. Does that make sense? Oh, you know what? Why don't I use this palette more often? Amanda, use the palettes you have. Actually, I just posted a video this week about my top 5 fall palettes, and this one definitely made the list. You know what? I'm not one of those people. I don't have 3 million palettes. I have like 30 something, and I'm overwhelmed. So, like, I like that I have this palette because I don't have to go out and buy anything more neutral, because this is pretty much the most neutral one I have. Like, as far as different shades. So I'm still going in with that same shadow. Now, I've been thinking about how I want to create this look for a while, and I was gonna use black. This was gonna be a black eyeshadow, but then I thought, it's not, she never wore just black eyeshadow in the movie, and she never wore just like, back then, like I'm gonna do like the lower lash line maybe, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought I just need to just use some darker shades, like maybe some browns, because I think it's going to suit me a little bit better. And this is sort of my recreation of sort of how I would do the look. So that's it so far. Drink my coffee. Right. So now I do have a darker brown here. It's like it's almost black. So I'm actually going to go into that one now. And I'm going to take the same brush, and I'm going to focus it just here on the outer V, and I'm going to tap it in. And I don't want to go above that initial color or the 2 colors that I've already used, but I do want to blend it in just like this. Just like that. That's all I want to do. And I'm going to go in on the other side and do the same thing. Nice. So I don't know what else I want to do with the eyes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start going with the rest of my makeup. So I have moisturized, but I'm going to use this, just like, it's kind of like a brightening serum. I like to use it after. It's my Tarte Youth or Dare. I have received this in a top box. It was my beauty surprise for September. Top box is a subscription box only in Canada. And so it's like, I know a lot of people get like duplicates, so I only ever got the 1 month, but sometimes they'll have like privy boxes or something, so this is the one I have. So I just like to put that down first before I put on my primer. Actually, I have used this as a primer before, so that's also another thing. Weird. All right, so it turns out this is my primer. Yeah, I didn't bring the other one down. That's okay. This one, it does work as well. So I'm going to go with my Maybelline Fit Me. This is in 122. This is the shade Creamy Beige. I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. Not too much. Just a little bit to start. And I'm going to go in with a beauty sponge. This is from Shop Massé. This is the AOA Studio, the Mochi Blender Sponge. And I'm just going to go in and do my whole face using my teeny tiny little mirror. I love these sponges so much. I did not put nearly enough on my hand though. When you use a sponge, you do tend to use quite a bit more product. That's the one downside, but I don't have a brush right now and I don't really want like a super full coverage application. I kind of just want to even out the redness in my face. I just kind of want like a solid color. And the reason I did my foundation after is because sometimes when you're using darker eyeshadows, there can be fallout and it'll mess your makeup up. And then you gotta go in, you gotta fix it. And then you gotta be sad because you have to fix everything. It's not ideal. So I need to find my little tiny mirror now. All right, so a little bit farther ahead in the movie. So they're witches. And like I said before, they really want to invoke the spirit of Menel, which is like, he's like more than God, like he's like everything. So so Nancy decides that she's going to be the one to do it. So the other girls, they're like, okay, cool, let's do it. And you know, they're all witches, so they're all kind of like, they all have their powers and they want more. Now, I haven't really said much about the one main character, Sarah. She is a natural witch. So she already has powers, so she doesn't really need these other witches, but they need her because there's only 3 of them and they need a 4th. So I guess kind of the end goal is that Nancy wants to invoke the spirit. So she ends up doing so. And when she does this, Sarah starts realizing that she's starting to become a little bit unhinged. Nancy is. So, long story short, they kind of fight. Nancy goes freaking crazy, like super crazy. And like you can see like her dramatic changes even, just like the way she looks like, and like people start dying and it starts bettering her, things like that. It's really interesting to see it all kind of unfold. So now I'm going to set my face using my Becca Hydro Mist powder. We're just going to go in with a simple brush here. This is just a BH Cosmetics brush, or no, this is a Morphe brush actually, it's a powder brush. And I'm just going to take the Hydro Mist powder on that and I'm just going to set my face really, really quick under my eyes. Not a lot. I love this powder. I am actually like really excited about this eye look right now. Like, I'm like, you know what? It's not even too much for me to go to work. That was another thing, like this look could have got real crazy real fast, but I'm very satisfied with it so far. So that makes me really happy. So yeah, so what was I just talking about? So Nancy invokes the spirit and she goes a little nutty. So Sarah, being the natural witch, starts noticing, like, she's like, okay, so it's gonna come back. Like they always say, it comes back ×3. So any magical thing that you do, there's gonna be a consequence, which is probably, that's like something you hear more and more. Like you hear it a lot, especially when you hear like magical stuff. So she kind of goes nuts and Sarah tries to stop her. So then Sarah has to invoke the spirits and they do like all these crazy things, like they make her see things and they like get into her dreams and they like are seeing what she's doing, because now that they have this power, or that Nancy has this power, she's helping the other 2 that really like, they're smaller characters, but they're like they're very supportive. They're very good supporting roles in my opinion. So that's that. Now I am going to do something with Now I'm going to take an angled brush and I'm going to go in with that last dark brown that I had, and I'm gonna just drag it across my lower lash line now that I have my foundation on. This was part of like, oh, of course, I just totally messed up my eyeshadow, my foundation. This was a really big part of the style back in the day, especially in like early 2000s, 90s, like dark under eyeliner was a thing. I'll fix the rest of that up after. I don't like to use just eyeliner, so I like to use shadow for the lower lash line, to be honest. It's a little bit better than this side. I just didn't tap the brush the first time, which was stupid. Okay. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take a blot brush and just blend up that edge. Blend everything together right here, same thing right here. I just don't want any lines. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so continuing on. So Nancy has invoked the spirit. She's gone crazy, and she wants to kill Sarah, who is now she wants to kill her because she's the natural witch. She really is the threat in this situation because she's the one with more power. Even though she hasn't invoked the spirit, she has the potential to do it because she is a natural witch. So basically, she ends up doing it because there is a supporting character, and she's a shopkeeper, and she's a witch, but she's also a natural witch, and she helps Sarah, and Sarah gets spooked and goes back home, and then they try and kill her again. It's super fun. It's actually not, but it's like, it's just one of those movies that just is so like, wow. And now I look back on it and I'm like, if they had made a movie like that now, I don't think it would have done as well. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just really don't think it would have had like the same sort of impact as it does now. I am bronzing. I know she's a very pale character, but I'm going out after this, so I don't want to be too pale. I want to add some bronzer, at least just for my sake. So we're getting near the end of the movie, and I'm trying not to give too many spoilers. I'm just trying to I want something to this is more like, I'm talking about it. It's really fun too. This is so much fun. Alexandra, I cannot tell you, Alexandria, I cannot tell you how much fun I'm having filming this video, so thank you so much. Make sure you guys do go check her out. She's totally linked below, and see what her creation is and see what movie she did. All right, moving on. I just want to check my mirror that I lost. My little teeny tiny one. All right, everything looks pretty good. I'm going to take a little bit of that powder and just do my eyebrows now. Easy peasy. Alrighty. Let's see. I'm gonna put a little bit of blush on. It's not like, it's a really like muted, like peachy blush, just cause I do need a little bit of something. So I'm just gonna use this brush right here. If these had mirrors, my life would be complete. It really would. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to toss on some mascara. I'm going to use my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. And I'm actually not going to put a shimmer shade on my eyes. I'm just going to leave them the way they are because I think that it is a truer representation of like that era. Like there wasn't a whole lot of shine going on. It was a little bit more grungy. You know, nothing wrong with that either. I'm actually really excited about this look. All right, so we have one more product. We have one more product, and the reason I've chose this one is because it's dark and it's vampy and it really reminds me of like her character in the movie. This is by Up Beauty. This is the Lip Duo Lip Setter in the shade Lip Setter Midnight Malbec. So I'm going to, it comes with a liner and a lipstick, like, so it's dual ended. So I'm going to line first. And now the lipstick end. I love this lipstick. It is so cool. It is such like a perfect shade. And perfect shade for this look too. Like, sorry. All right. So that is my final look. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Let me know in the comments below what you think about my first movie review, because I don't think that was a review at all. I think I sucked at it. But this is sort of like my recreation of what I think that, like, if I was going to play that character, I guess, what I think I would look like. So this is sort of it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and make sure you go and check out Alexandra's video. Please go check her out. She is totally linked below. I'm going to link her here again. I cannot thank her enough for doing this with me. It got, like I said, it got me out of my comfort zone. I'm so excited right now. So thank you guys so very much. Go check her out. Make sure you're subscribed to her. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Love you guys.